bucks.
I was so hungry.
Chew with your mouth closed. Oh, you're just getting roasted.
Hey man, dude, come on.
Okay, I'm loving the food and some vibes. Chew with your mouth closed, Jesus.
Dude, it's hard not to smack on the pizza.
That's true. Pizza here is really good.
This is what happens when we put Sammy in front of the camera.
Yeah, this is what he's
This
actually.
is why we put John in front of the camera.
Oh,
Nah,
God.
man, that's the entertainment value.
We're using Google Shopping ads.
We'll keep that one in mind. I think a lot of people are gonna ask about this.
So right now, to answer Killer Elm's question, we're up in Niseko because we wanted to do a little bit of snowboarding, just like kind of like spend some time together as a team.
Niseko's in Japan, if you guys don't know what that is. Why no super chat? I don't know what that is.
Super chat, yeah.
First question to warm you guys up. We just answered that one.
ASL.
These nuts, absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you guys have free or paid courses? We are actually working on the paid course.
Right
Yeah.
now, everything on YouTube. You guys can find a lot of case studies and free content. Honestly, we don't leave anything out. You can see the story. You can see everything. Just like check out the YouTube
Absolutely.
videos.
Yeah. The course is just going to be a little more advanced, a little more detailed. I feel like the YouTube videos focus more on what you should do, whereas the course we're going to go through exactly how to do everything, and show you like the steps actually, instead of just saying like, oh, you should do this and this.
I mean, honestly, I'd say like the Facebook strategy and the course, it's going to be far more advanced than the strategy you're going to see on the YouTube channel. And I'm not saying like the strategy on the YouTube channel isn't going to work.
You should slide in. Yeah, slide in here.
Yeah, you want to try?
Nice little.
Go ahead, take it.
Also, can you guys hear us okay?
Thank you, Marcel.
Oh,
Makes things 500 times better.
Yeah.
Do something with that.
Well, I can't read those questions.
Oh,
Maybe we
boy.
can read it on my phone, dude.
Can we pull up questions on the phone?
I could do. I'm gonna fucking read the questions.
How do I pull this up?
Alrighty. This looks so much better. So this is why you're probably longer.
Oh, it's
Actually,
right
does
here. I
look-
can open it up right here on my
Alright, I'm
phone.
gonna answer a few
Make sure you
questions
silence it.
about you guys. So, payment gateway. In general, we only use Stripe. We try to avoid PayPal because you get a lot of like issues with scaling. If you like run too much volume, you'll basically get a block no matter what you do.
Are you just watching the actual?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So
There's a lot of questions coming in pretty fast here, guys.
Yeah, it's gonna be a bit difficult to get to all.
So
of them.
When, so when is the course coming? We're planning on a New Year's launch, but that's pretty tentative. So
Wait, did-
it's subject to
Facebook.
change.
okay, I'll do that.
Hopefully by New Year's though, for sure.
Wait, Sammy, did you post it on the Facebook?
Yeah, I already posted.
Oh,
it.
Sammy posted it.
Makes sense.
Okay.
What do you do? What do you do when you have high CTR and low CPATC, but no sales on a website that's worked before? That's a pretty fucking
Depends.
niche question.
Could be the audience.
Yeah, that's just like.
Give me a
there's too many
second,
answers.
dude. Let me just eat this pizza and I'll
Keep
get
doing
to
it.
it. Yeah, I'll get to it.
High click-through rate and low cost per add to cart, but no sales on a website that's worked before. That sounds like an audience
Like audience
issue.
to me.
Yeah, that sounds like an audience issue.
All right, so
I love what you're doing from France. Oh, thank you. Bonjour.
all right, so the cost of our course. All right, so our course is going to be $99.
Bro, this is hella professional right here.
Oh god, it's choked on the water, bro.
What's your average CTR? I'd say CTR doesn't matter. It really depends on the pricing of your product. Yeah, CTR is like, you can look at it if you're trying to lower like your cost per click with your CPMs, but ultimately like CTR is not gonna matter that much.
I'm gonna try to answer some technical questions out here, guys.
All right, go ahead.
So, like some Anson Oy is saying, Stripe banned us within a week after realizing they're dropshipping. How do you get a Stripe or a payment processor that doesn't have any holds? One thing that they'll want to see is proof of inventory. So what you can do, even if you're drop shipping on AliExpress, is you can contact your supplier and ask them to send you some pictures of your company name with the inventory that they have in stock. And usually that gets rid of a lot of holds.
Okay. All right, so I see this guy spamming how to scale big numbers without PayPal problems. I just scaled my winner to 5K per day, and PayPal are holding 50K of my funds.
Sounds
I
about
tried to
right.
remove PayPal from my store, and my conversion rate dropped to 2%. Yeah, so basically, I was using PayPal about 2 years ago, and I was running into the same exact problems as you. And what I eventually did was I just stopped using PayPal, and I switched to only using Stripe. And you're going to definitely see a dip in conversion rate when you go from using PayPal and Stripe and then not using PayPal. But what Facebook is really good at recognizing is the types of processors that you're using. So eventually they're going to recognize that you have nobody who has PayPal purchasing from your store, and your conversion rate should go back up over time if you stop using PayPal. So try to focus on not using PayPal on new stores, and you shouldn't see this dip in conversion rate because they're going to find people who have Visa and like MasterCard and people who can actually process through Stripe to come onto your store versus like people using PayPal. So if you're running into issues with PayPal, I'd recommend to just not use it because we're currently not using PayPal for any of our stores.
I got some good questions here. I see this one a lot. Is now a good time to start Facebook ads or better to wait till January? Timing, it's like start as fast as you can. Like any quarter, any season, like you're going to be wanting to start testing and scaling. It's possible at any time of the year.
I would definitely add to that though is set your customer expectations well because Christmas is coming. If you're gonna ship items out before Christmas,
Very true.
make sure your customers are aware that hey, either it's gonna arrive before Christmas or not. So you're not gonna end up with a bunch of disputes that way.
Yeah, but don't think that like Facebook ads are gonna work in one quarter and not work in another quarter. Definitely a lot of people saying that like Q3 you're gonna get fucked, Q4 like you're gonna bank. It's not like that. You can start pretty much anytime.
Yeah, I just started up a store recently, and it's pretty late into Q4, and it's working fine. So I'd say go for it.
Also, I see this question a lot in our group. Do you start a general store to test products before you open a one product store? So I think the reason we like to prefer one product stores is that you can really narrow down the vibe of the store towards your audience, and it's going to have a really good impact on your conversion rates versus a general store where you can't really target a specific audience with the styling of your store, the design of your store, the copy of your store. So it's going to have a negative impact on your conversion rate. So that's why we recommend to just start with a one product store and stick with it and just try to improve on that instead of branching out and doing a general store. Although that's like not saying you should never do a general store. People have definitely had general stores work before.
Okay, so I see this guy saying, who taught you guys about dropshipping and e-commerce? And basically it's really hard to just find like credible information and reliable information on dropshipping and e-commerce. So when it came to me and Richard, we literally just taught ourselves by just trying and testing and meeting a bunch of different people in the industry and like talking to them about like how they're doing things. So we really just learned just like by ourselves, and then also going on YouTube and taking snippets of information from other people on YouTube. But a lot of gurus out there, it's like the information that they're giving out to you guys, they're not actually even running that information. They don't even reveal their stores to you guys. So you don't really even know if the information is credible. So you have to have a really good eye for spotting information that sounds right. So it's like not everything you see on the internet is going to be true. But if you think the information is true, you should just test it. What's going to be really great about the course that we're releasing right now is that not only are we pricing it at $99, but it's going to be the most advanced and most thorough course on this entire dropshipping space. So it'll take you from A to Z in terms of scaling from like $0 to $100,000 per month. And it's going to be super in-depth, as we're going to reveal to you guys all the strategies that we're using right now. And the only reason we're able to like show you guys our stores and be so abundant about everything is because we're running so many stores. So it doesn't, so it doesn't even matter if like we show you guys one store or two stores or three stores. We have like 15 to 20 like running at the same time. So that's why we're just giving them all out, and we don't mind sharing our strategies because there's so many people on Facebook and the internet in general that regardless of how many people are entering into the space, we're still able to run the same numbers ourselves, and the competition isn't necessarily increasing because there's so many people failing every day and leaving the market that there's plenty of room in the entire space for everybody to be banking out.
Also, Richard, I think this is a great question for you. Like a few people have asked, do you use one LLC for all stores?
In this case, what we do is we do spread our operations out to minimize risk. So in some cases, maybe we'll set up certain niche types of stores or certain one product types of stores into different LLCs, into different incorporations. We do a little bit of offshore banking as well. So we try to spread things out to keep things safe for ourselves.
But you'd probably say like not to worry about that until like you're at scale.
You can definitely run a Shopify dropshipping store off of your own personal bank account through a sole proprietorship, and there's no real issue with that. You're just going to be paying higher taxes.
Yeah, okay, so I see this guy saying he knows Gabriel does this before testing a product and optimizing for purchase. You test for multiple versions of the ad first by optimizing for view content to see if the ad is right and engaging. No, we basically always just go into purchase because I'm always looking for the highest quality audience possible. You might do good off of like a Facebook engagement or like a view content type of initial like conversion event. But then when you go switch into purchase, it might not perform as well because now the kind of traffic you're getting from a purchase event is different from the kind of traffic you get from like a view content to add to cart. So I always recommend you to start with purchase because purchase is always going to send you the highest quality data possible. And then you want to take the highest quality data possible and then create lookalikes from that. So if you started off by running like page view or like Facebook engagement, and then you made a lookalike off of that audience, you're not going to get the best lookalike possible. So it's going to be harder for you to actually scale because you're getting lower quality traffic. So it's always best to just run purchase and get the best quality data possible.
Someone is asking who feeds the most on the bowl games.
Sammy.
I was looking at Mark.
Sammy,
Feeds the most on your
especially if we play Swain. Oh my
Shit,
god.
I see Nick Wong on here.
No way, Nick Wang.
Nick Wong. Yo, what's good, Nick?
Okay. Do you need a lot of page likes on your Facebook page to be successful with Facebook ads? We run ads on cold pages with absolutely 0 likes. I think social proof is absolutely overvalued and overhyped by like other people teaching dropshipping. You don't need to rely on social proof to get a store going.
Yeah, if you have good creatives and a good offer, you get people's attention, you bring them to your website, you're still going to convert them, whether it's the first touch point or the second touch point through retargeting.
Mm-hmm.
All right, see this guy saying, do you guys still white label a product that is not that good but sells well? Like 25K plus per day, about 2% refunds and 3.3% disputes, but it gets hammered on Facebook feedback score. Yeah, I wouldn't go for those types of products because once your Facebook feedback score gets hammered, then you basically can't run the product anymore because your delivery gets throttled or you get under delivery basically on Facebook, which means that you're going to be paying more money for your delivery and eventually you're going to become unprofitable. So those are like not long-term products you can run, which means you're going to have to keep on churning and burning your websites. So rather than going for a product like that, you want to try to find a product that can at least maintain a feedback score above a 2 so you can run it for as long as possible.
I see a common question coming up here, guys, from a couple of different users, and people are wondering if we have a mentorship program. Right now, honestly, all of us have our own roles and quite a bit of work to do, so we don't do one-on-one coaching. It wouldn't be worth our time, to be honest with you guys. But because I've got so many requests about this, I'm looking into how I can start a mentorship program for you guys to provide that sort of one-on-one support. I think that'll really benefit you guys.
But definitely like, it's gonna come after the course, so don't ask around for mentorship.
Yeah, like we're working like super hard on this course right now. we just finished filming like the introduction here at Niseko, and now we have the full outline done for it. We just have to get all the recordings done, and that's gonna take at least like 20 to 30 days, I believe, because we want to really take our time on this and really make it as good as like we're hyping it up to be. So
and this is on top of our regular work. Actually, this is sort of a passion project more
Yeah.
than anything else.
Also, if you guys could drop a like real quick, that would be really dope. It helps out with the YouTube algorithm. If you guys are enjoying what we're talking about and want us to continue asking questions, that'd be really sick.
I'm gonna answer another common question here, guys. I see from Plov and a couple of other users asking about disabled business managers. In general, you're not going to experience a disabled business manager if you're following Facebook ad policy. So for anyone who's just starting off in Facebook ads, please just go to Facebook ads policy, read and understand what terms and conditions that you're agreeing to when you're running creatives, when you're running offers, and that's going to save you a lot of trouble and confusion. But after the point, if you've already gotten a disabled business manager, what I recommend is that you use proxies, you use a VA, you use a friend, you start a new business manager, have a lot of fresh information, and don't make the same mistakes again.
Okay, so I see you guys saying how to scale a low ticket item that sells below $10. And what's interesting here is Mark is actually right now running a product that we're gonna probably release in the course. That's like, we're selling it for $6, or is it $7?
$6.95.
It's like $6.95, yeah. And the way we're making it work is because the product cost is so low, people are buying like 3 to 4 units of it, and then we also, on top of the $6.95, we top with shipping on top of it. And are we charging like $7 or
$6.95?
$6.95 for the shipping. So the AOV is coming out to like $30.
Yep.
So because the product is cheap and we have shipping on top of it, we can actually go up to like $15 cost of purchase and still be profitable on a $6.95 product. And that's how we're running like these really, really cheap products at a profit.
Yep.
I see a lot of ads coming in about Facebook ads. We're actually working on a YouTube video that's kind of like a full course on Facebook ads. So we're going to avoid some of the more basic questions just because they're going to be covered in our next video.
I see a question from a guy named Avanis, and he's asking us, whenever he sees and researches his competitors, he feels demotivated when starting his own store because his competitors are so huge. Do we have any tips? Honestly, from our experience, when you see a competitor with an offer that's doing well, it actually means that there's a lot of space in that market to slide in. Even if they're capturing 90% of the market share, 10% of the market share could be, revenues in the 6 or 7 figures. So if someone's doing well in the space, it just means, hey, you can also do well in this. It should be motivating rather than demotivating.
Yeah, if anything, take a look at what they're doing and find a way to replicate it and maybe even make it better. And there's a good chance that you're going to do well.
Okay, so how long did it take you guys to find your first winning product? Well, I started back like in January or maybe February of 2017. And it's like getting your first successful store is probably the hardest part. And once you get that going, the momentum is pretty easy. And because I didn't have any like super dope course or like super dope YouTube channel to look at, it's like I was literally just doing random shit. My first store was just a watch store. I copied this other watch store because I thought like watches were cool, and that failed. So then my second one was like this little tracking device, and that failed. And then eventually I came upon this like raving niche, and that store finally like started doing well. And it's like, for me, it's always been like the third time's the charm. But I think if you have the right information and the right guidance, you can definitely get a winning store or like a working product off of the bat if you know the right metrics to look for. And that's exactly what we're going to outline in the course. So you just have to hold on for that.
Like my first store was actually really successful, but that's because John failed his first 3 stores and helped me out.
Yeah. And I also gave him the product.
So I'm seeing a question from David Lee here. Would you suggest a one-product store for beginners? I think in a lot of cases I would recommend that because it simplifies a lot of the process. You can really learn how to build and write out copywriting for a store. You can learn how to build a funnel. And it's easier to research your competitors, research this product to see if it's going to do well. So you kind of limit your margin of error here.
And lets you really like optimize for a specific audience instead of trying to just be like general and all over the place.
Yeah.
Okay, so I see Tyler Club saying, do you think that the stores that you guys are currently running are evergreen, or will the stores die out and you'll need to start new products again? So it depends on the type of product you pick, right? If you pick like a seasonal product, then yeah, it's going to die out as the season changes. But if you pick a product that's evergreen, like in the posture brace, you could literally run that forever. Like I see so many people copying our exact store now and advertisements, and they're also able to like successfully run this product, right? As long as your ad account doesn't get disabled from running a posture product, you can continue to run the posture brace. So if you guys want, you guys can all copy our posture brace and like make money from it because it will work, right?
It'll work.
People are messaging me asking if they can use our exact ad copy, and it's like whatever, dude.
You see in the ad copy, like Sammy is spinning around, and like they're using Sammy's video basically. Yeah, spinning around.
But we're all dropshippers, guys. Like we don't care.
Like, we don't care. You guys can copy all of our shit. It's all good. But like a couple of products that are really good right now that you could use that are it's technically gonna be evergreen year round on the season are like those heated vests, like the heated gloves, the heated jacket. Like that stuff is selling extremely well right now. So like you guys should all try that product out for the winter, and then when next winter rolls around, you could run the same exact product again, and it'll do super well next winter again. So these are like seasonal evergreen products. And then there's evergreen products year round, like the posture brace. So So it all depends on the product you pick, whether it's evergreen or not. So like the mosquito trap, bro, when summertime's coming around, you guys could all run that product again in the summertime, and that should bank out again in the summer.
Yeah, and just to add on to that, it really is possible to take a dropshipping store into a long-term brand if you focus on your customer retention, your engagement, and especially your social content. You know, we do have brands that we've been running for almost 3+ years at this point.
All right, this is a really interesting question, and I think we can all talk about this one. Hope you guys are having an amazing time. What is the #1 skill you have to develop to succeed in dropshipping? Is it Facebook marketing, product research, copywriting, video editing, or etc.?
All right, so I'd say the #1 skill, because I've been doing this for 3 years and I've helped so many people like get this to work now, is being tanky. And like that sounds a little strange, right? But it's called, you got to be persistent, right? If you're super persistent at this, like you go broke, you make some more money, and then you go broke again, and then you can make some more money, and then you just like keep pouring it into Facebook advertisements, researching products, improving your store. Eventually you're going to run into success. Like I've had so many friends that have failed because they quit too early on. And then I've had so many friends who just like kept on tanking it out. They just fail after fail after fail. They just kept tanking it out, but they were persistent. Eventually they succeeded. And Mark's actually a great example of that because he literally went into 20K in debt, but he kept on doing it. And eventually he made his first $1 million store. And like, you should have seen like how low he was at one point because he's like in so much debt. He's going to school and like nothing is working, but he kept at it and eventually it started working.
By the way, us three went to school at the same time, and yeah, Mark was really struggling at the time with his stores, and he was consistently taking L's, still in class, and like the man tanked it through, and look at where he's at. Look at where he's at now. So yeah, just look at Mark as an example. That's the #1 skill you need, absolutely.
For the record, you definitely don't have to go 20K in debt. I could have definitely saved myself a lot of that pain if I like looked at more examples of successful stores and kind of thought about what I was doing wrong, what was working, what wasn't. I think my approach was definitely that I had to tank it out, but you also have to kind of think about what you're doing actively, and definitely take a look at competition, people that have already done it, and try to replicate what they're doing.
Yeah, I'd like to add that the more experience you have, the more you're going to succeed, but failure is part of the process.
Yeah.
We fail all the time at stuff too.
We're also getting a lot of budget questions. Someone's asking, is 2K enough? Another person's asking, is 1K enough? I think you can start at either of those budgets, and we're going to cover that actually in depth in our next video. But the budget, like your ad budget, is going to depend entirely on the pricing of your product, because as the pricing of your product goes up, the amount of money you pay for ads per purchase is going to go up.
Yeah.
So then it's going to cost you more money to get data, and you need some data to make decisions, right? So for more expensive products, you need your data is going to cost more money. So you're going to need a bigger ad budget. So if you have a smaller ad budget, then you should start with a cheaper product. And if you have a bigger ad budget, then you can like go move into higher ticket products.
Yeah. Theoretically, I suppose you could really do a super low budget for an expensive product, but it would take you a long time to get the data you need.
Right.
To get it going.
Yeah.
So I see Hitesh spamming. Yo, bro, started lookalike 0 to 5% worldwide. You want to? John said in his video to select worldwide when creating lookalikes, or do I have to put the e-packet countries list in the ad set? Yeah. So basically, when we make lookalikes, I click on worldwide and I make all the lookalikes for worldwide, and then I set the targeting inside the ad set level to the countries I want it to be at. And Facebook has realized that like there's no point in making lookalikes for USA, Canada, and like UK. And some of our ad accounts are getting the new update where you don't have to select countries for the lookalikes. You just make the lookalike, and then they just say you select the countries inside the ad set. So like the way we're doing it right now with the worldwide setups for the old ad accounts, that's the way to go. That's gonna save you a lot of time. So then you have to make like 1 million lookalikes for all these different countries.
Yeah.
What works better, a funnel or send them straight to a website product page? Definitely depends on the product and the funnel. That's like a situation.
I was guys asking if you have an Aura ring, Mark.
Oh, I do have an Aura ring. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw Alex Becker had this thing.
Yeah.
I saw one of his YouTube videos. It's pretty cool.
You guys only use Facebook? Yeah, currently it's like we're mainly using Facebook ads. I did use Google ads for a little bit, maybe just for some retargeting, and then I also tested out some Google YouTube advertisements. but they never work nearly as well as Facebook. And because Facebook is working extremely well right now, I'm putting a lot of my focus and efforts into understanding the Facebook algorithm and coming up with strategies that work really well for Facebook, and just doubling down all my energy into learning Facebook because it just works super well. Like, you guys have seen the results on our Facebook page. My ROAS has been insane on Facebook. There's just no point for me to look into Google Ads at the moment, just because Facebook is working so well, and we can just keep scaling with Facebook advertisements. You guys will be absolutely blown if we release our results for our Q4 revenues.
Is this live? Yeah, this is live.
I think there's a slight delay, but
There's probably like a
Yeah.
minute delay, but this is live.
Okay, should I scale if I'm still break even? I would say if you're at just break even, you shouldn't be looking into scaling. You should be trying to figure out a way so that you're not at break even before you go into scaling, because the moment you start scaling at break even, your cost of purchase will actually go up, because the way the algorithm works is once you get all the low cost buyers, it's gonna start moving into the high cost buyers. So when you bump an ad set from like $10 to $100, you're gonna see an increase in cost per purchase, not because Facebook's trying to fuck you over, but because you basically at $10, they're like, okay, we can only spend $10, so we have to try to get the cheapest people possible. But when you bump it up to $100, now Facebook has more opportunity to get a much wider reach. So once they eat up all the cheaper cost per purchasers, they have to start moving up the levels, which means like you're gonna get more sales volume, but your cost per purchase will go up.
Just to answer Boss's question, yes, this live stream will be saved, so no worries about it, man.
Okay, I keep getting way more initiate checkouts than add to carts. I'm in profit, but my conversion is only 2.5. I've done the usual checklist to raise it, but none of them changed. Can you guys help? Can you help, guys? Yeah, I'd say this question is a little bit too vague for me to answer. Like, yeah, I can't really help with that. Hey, big fan of you guys. Request you to guide what and how can I improve my store and build a consistent. Yeah, so again, it's like I don't know what your store is, so I can't really offer you any improvements.
Like I'm skipping a lot of questions just because they're a little vague. Like, if you have specific questions, try to include a lot more detail in the comment, because these are a little too big.
Okay, so what checkout do you use for your stores? Checkout X or Shopify's checkout? Yeah, currently most of our stores are running a one-click upsell. It's an application that actually allows you to upsell a customer after they purchase a product, and that's been working really well for us. It integrates with both Stripe, Authorize.net, and PayPal, so you guys should definitely take a look into that.
Yeah, we can definitely drop you guys a link for OCU if you need us to send that info.
Okay, so I see people saying like, do you guys use Silk Road or like Spocket and whatnot? Yeah, we're gonna be dropping a video soon on like the best alternative suppliers to Aliexpress. Just hang in. So just hang in there. But honestly, what we're doing right now is we're mainly using private suppliers. We might use Aliexpress a little bit to test around, but we're just mainly using private suppliers. So if you are doing over like 50 orders per day, then I think you can contact Mark on Facebook, and he can hook you up with a private supplier that can fulfill your orders above 50 orders per day.
Yeah, he'll actually go as low as 30.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
I see a lot of questions on like specific metrics that we aim for, and it really all depends on the product, the margin, average order value. Like, ultimately, the only metric you're looking for is cost per purchase and average order value.
Okay, so what is the most professional method for product research? What can I do to really see what's being dropshipped day to day? Okay, so this product research method, I can literally come up with 100 different methods for researching products. There's a lot of ways we do it. It's like we've been using Ecom Hunt to find just random little gadgets that we sell. I've been using Facebook a lot, Instagram a lot, and it's like as I'm using the Facebook platform and scrolling around, I get hit with so many different advertisements. And the same with Instagram. I'm looking through my stories and I'm getting hit with so many different advertisements. And through like a lot of experience just running so many different types of products, my intuition for finding products has gotten so good that like once I see an advertisement on Facebook that I'm like, wow, this product could really sell for myself, I'll just take that product and most likely just sell it. But for you guys who are a little bit less advanced and have a little bit less intuition in terms of finding products, we've come up with different methods for you guys, such as in our YouTube videos on how to find products and how to verify that the products are winning. We're also going to be coming up with an updated product research method that's going to go a little bit more in depth into product research and what we are doing to find these successful products every time.
Question: what will be the topic of your next YouTube video? It's gonna be a pretty in-depth Facebook ads course that's gonna go from the very beginning, including how to set up a campaign, along with ad theory, combined with our strategy, so that you guys can now customize our strategy using the ad theory to your own unique situation. Because everything is so dependent on each unique situation, I think it's really important that you understand that you can't just plug and play a strategy and expect it to work. You want to adapt to your own unique situation. So I think this next video is going to be really valuable for you guys in understanding how Facebook is actually working, so that you don't just blindly follow whatever we say.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, let me just hype up this next video, because I read the script that Sammy wrote for this video, and it blew my mind away because it's so well done. There's no Facebook ads video like this on YouTube currently, and once you guys watch this this complete Facebook ads tutorial video, you're gonna know basically everything in terms of how Facebook is working, what kind of strategies are the best for the types of products, what kind of budgets you need for the price of your product. And it's going to be so detailed that this one video alone should teach you everything about Facebook advertisements.
We're getting some questions about what's going to be included in the course. Is OCU going to be included in the course? Is customer support and fulfillment going to be included? Literally everything is going to be included, guys. Everything, beginning to end. So if you're wondering if it's included, it's included.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
Okay, now you keep seeing these people saying what's the cost of the course? All right, guys, so the cost of the course is $99. If you guys could answer other people's questions on the cost of the course, that would be greatly appreciated, because people are just always wondering what the cost of the course is. And the reason why we're making it $99 is not only is it because it's we don't honestly really care about making bank off of this course or whatnot. It's because $99 is such an affordable price for everybody to get the course at. Plus, the sheer amount of value in this $99 course is going to trump over any other course that you've ever bought in this entire industry. The biggest problem I see in dropshipping, info space area, is that people have no idea where to get the information when they start off. They're should I look at this guru or this guru or that guru? And I'm trying to say that we should be the main platform for learning information for dropshipping. So we're going to try to price everything at the most affordable rates possible with the best content possible as well.
Yeah, we want to make it accessible for everyone, mainly so we can build our influence in our own industry. I see a question here from Moad Chatui asking about instructions on fulfillment, customer support automation, how to deal with multiple email tickets, and how to track tracking numbers with your suppliers. So what I really recommend is that you look into what we call a CRM, which is a customer relationship management software, something like Freshdesk, Zendesk, and this will really help you monitor the KPIs of your customer support staff. Upwork is a great place to pick up support staff. You can build out protocols, you can build out macros that can autofill for common questions, and then you can deal with lots of email tickets at a very high speed without having to rewrite the email each time. Tracking numbers, there are a lot of applications that we can recommend to you guys that'll auto grab these tracking numbers from your suppliers or from Aliexpress and auto connect them to your CS staff and be able to send those tracking numbers to your customers.
All right, so the course, we want to launch it by New Year's, but I'm not exactly sure if we can, because a lot of editing has to be done for the course, because we want it to be very concise and easy to understand. So if we can't release it by New Year's, it should be out by mid-January. So just hang in tight for that.
Someone did ask actually if we could slow down our content for the course, because our YouTube content is quite dense and very packed and fast-paced. And just to let you guys know, our course is going to be formatted in a way where we're going to have modules, with each module having a very dense section that's going to cover, basically summarize what's included in that module. And then we'll have slowed down live in front of the webcam with the screen on, showing you how everything is done that was included in that summarized module, essentially. So yeah, everything will be slowed down and a lot easier to follow for you guys who are having trouble following our YouTube videos.
So Benjamin Champion's asking a question here. Do we really use the Turbo theme for our stores, or are we just affiliated?
Guys, the amount of money we make from the affiliate sales is fucking nothing. It's fucking nothing.
It's fucking nothing. Yeah.
So yes, we do use the turbo theme for all of our stores because it's a good theme.
Yeah.
We're not officially affiliated with Out of the Sandbox.
We would appreciate if you use the affiliate link, but like,
Yeah,
it's not like no big
Yeah,
if you don't.
If you want to just
Yeah.
Google it,
Do what you
just
want.
you can find it on Google
Yeah.
search too. It's totally fine.
It's like we're honestly making pennies from the YouTube and the affiliate link. Like you guys saw our numbers in one day. Like we haven't even been able to make the amount of money we made in one day from our actual stores as we have from like all the affiliates and like YouTube and stuff. So like, don't worry about us like pushing like random products on you guys that we don't actually use, because we wouldn't push it on you guys that like we're not actually using on our own stores. Like you saw our own store, Mosquito Trap X. It's like all of these stores are using Turbo Theme.
Oh yeah, gotcha.
So AZ Coaching's asking, what's our experience dropshipping in January after Christmas? And I think people around this time have a lot of questions about how Q4 works or how the holiday season works with, should I start dropshipping or not? Actually, a lot of people are discount hunting after Christmas. So if you're running a post-Christmas sale, you'll actually get a lot of conversions on people who are looking for prices that are lower after the holiday season, the buying season. So it's a good time to start.
Okay, I see. Love your content, guys. How do you find inconsistencies in profit per day? 4K in sales per day can be 20% profit. Break even, loss. How are you guys staying consistent? Yeah. So when it comes to consistency, it's all about running budgets that are higher than So this is a little bit hard to explain honestly, because like when you're running low budgets like $100 to $200 per day, results can be drastically inconsistent because you're only getting like 4 to 5 purchases per day. But when you're running higher budgets and you're getting like 50 purchases per day, and you're running CBOs at like 500, Facebook has a much better chance of optimizing and keeping the results consistent, because they do say that like the ad set learning phase ends when you're getting at least 50 sales. And when you're only getting like 1 to 2 sales on your ad sets, running like these $5 to $10 ad sets, it's much harder for them to optimize, which means you're going to run into all these inconsistencies. So it's in your best interest to try to find the best audience, the best creative, and then try to scale the budget fast so that you don't run into these inconsistency problems. The main strategy I'm using right now to scale is I'm running these $1,000 CBOs, targeting these very broad audiences. I'm running only the winning creatives to these audiences, and most of the times it's like there's rarely like any inconsistencies with these $1,000 CBOs. They fluctuate maybe like 10 to 20% on a daily basis, but I'm not going to be seeing like a 50% drop the next day.
Yeah.
Also, if you guys are spamming messages, I'm gonna have to time you out from the comments. So don't spam messages, because it just makes it harder for everyone.
Oh, here's a good one. Chinese New Year, what to do?
Okay, yeah. So for Chinese
true.
New Year's, a lot of you guys are gonna have problems on Chinese New Year's because most suppliers won't ship. But luckily for us, we have a private supplier, and he's gonna prepare for Chinese New Year's by stocking up on all the units. So if you have a supplier from Aliexpress and you're doing good volume, you should probably contact that supplier and let him know that like you're gonna be getting a lot of orders for Chinese New Year's. So he should stock up in advance so that you don't run into any logistical problems for Chinese New Year's. And like I said, if you're doing over like you said 30 orders?
Yeah.
If you're doing over like 30 orders a day, then contact Mark for his private supplier, and he would be glad to help you out for this upcoming Chinese New Year's and stock up on some inventory for you so that you can actually fulfill orders during Chinese New Year's. But if you don't have a private supplier who's going to stock up on the units for you, then I recommend not to run any advertisements for Chinese New Year's, because it's going to tank your feedback score and your store is probably going to get shut down, and you're going to run into a lot of chargebacks and a lot of other problems. So yeah, so unless you have a private supplier who's going to stock up, don't run anything for Chinese New Year's.
Yeah, in the case that your supplier from AliExpress is not willing to, or just doesn't work during the holidays, I really do recommend finding a 3PL or a third-party logistics company that you can find your own stock beforehand, and then ship it to your 3PL, and they'll send it out for you during Chinese New Year's for a lot of services.
All right, so Benjamin is asking, are you going to show how to create a store with a paid theme in your courses? Guys, our course is going to include literally everything. So like literally everything. So don't worry about what's going to be included. If you saw it in one of our videos, if you saw one of us doing it, then like it's going to be in there. So yeah, don't worry about it.
On top of that, I've actually worked out an arrangement with some of our designers for people who are not creatively inclined or people who don't want to build their own stores to have a sort of built for you dropshipping store service with the highest possible conversion rates, and we use them ourselves for projects that are a bit outside of our in-house bandwidth.
Okay, and I mean another thing is that we're gonna show you how to design a paid theme. Like I want to show you guys how to design the terrible theme really well, so it looks nice. So like, don't worry about the designing on the stores. We're gonna also have a look at the U theme design too, which we kind of revealed on like the YouTube videos, but I'd say it could definitely look even better than that. So just hang in tight.
And also, shit, I forgot what I was gonna say.
That's all good.
I got a couple of questions here in general about people asking about Instagram influencer marketing. Anthony Jerez is asking, is Instagram influencer marketing dead? Honestly, I think it's really the opposite. You're seeing these social platforms coming up with lots of new influencers, a lot of people who are open to offers. And when you think about it, you're skipping the middleman. You're not paying these big corporations. You can reach out to people directly who may have tons of followers, who may be very well known in their space, but they're not monetizing because they're not having enough sponsorships or brand deals. So you can work out a lot of arrangements with people in whatever niches that you're working with. Micro influencers are especially profitable. If you have the capital, you can even work with bigger names.
Yeah. All right. So I see this guy Neperia saying, "Do you guys smoke weed?" And I do have to say it's that we've been blazing quite heavily, which is why the performance on their stores has been going up just as high as
we've been getting.
Just as high as we've been getting. Yeah.
Not in Japan.
Not in Japan. Yeah. Maybe in like Colorado, right?
Yeah.
Where it's legal.
Chicago's popular as well.
Yeah.
I forgot what I was gonna say, but in the course we're also gonna have sections on like Adobe Premiere and as well as Adobe Photoshop, so that you guys can make super high quality creatives like by yourself without having to hire outside talent. And I think those two skills are also really useful for just like anything within digital marketing. So yeah, we're gonna have that included in the course as well.
So for look, it's Jose. He's asking, what credit card should I get? I'm 18 and I have 0 credit. I can't give you guys any specific legal or financial advice, so it's just a suggestion. But I really do recommend a Discover student credit card. Those are really easy to get, even if you have a very low credit score or no credit history.
Or Credit One or Capital One sometimes.
Sometimes really Capital student cards also, or credit building cards where you put down a deposit, a secure deposit, and that becomes your credit limit. That's a good way to start building some credit.
What app do you guys use for quantity discounts? Because Shopify only allows one automated discount. There's an app called Quantity Breaks by a company named Bold, but we've actually found that it has some issues with one-click upsell, especially if you're using the Portland theme like we are. So use it at your own risk and make sure you test the add to cart and also add multiple things to cart and make sure everything is working okay. Just because we've definitely ran into issues with that and had to contact their support. That's only if you're using it alongside one-click upsell though.
All right, so what time is it?
12:42.
12:40. I think it's been going for 45 minutes. I think we're supposed.
How about if we get to 200 likes, we go to
till 1. I'm getting tired, dude.
Suck it up, man.
200 likes and we'll go till 1. Or what time is it over there? We'll go for 20 more minutes.
Oh, jeez, the likes are coming up. Yo, guys, don't press the like button. I'm trying to go to bed.
Yeah, it's pretty late over here, guys.
It's like 1 a.m. over here.
Yeah, it's 1 a.m. in Japan. We're trying to hit the slopes tomorrow.
Did you say you're going to 1 o'clock if it hits 200?
Yeah, 15 more minutes.
Yeah, I could do that. 15 more.
We'll give it
Okay, I mean it's at 200 now.
Motherfucker.
I mean it's almost at 200.
It's basically at 200.
Okay, yeah, all right. We'll continue. We'll go for another 15.
Damn, I feel like such a hoe. All right.
Okay, do you recommend someone to start dropshipping now because products won't arrive before the 25th of December? Yeah, so I mean, like, you could definitely start dropshipping now, but just inform them on your product descriptions or your shipping policy page that your products might take 14 to something days, depending on what kind of shipping method you use. But if you do use a private supplier, the e-packet, as long as he ships it right away, I've been seeing delivery times as low as like 7 days to the US with e-packet at the moment, if they process the order fast enough. So it could actually get to a lot of people by Christmas if you use the right supplier.
Although closer to Christmas, it might get a little bit packed in terms of e-packet, but it should still be relatively consistent.
That's true.
Yeah, a nice tip is that there is a notification settings in Shopify where with your order confirmation email, you can again remind the customer that there will be some sort of delay or they may not receive their package before Christmas as they check the receipt for their order.
John Rod is asking, how easy is it to get to $100,000 a year profit per person? I feel like that's the mark of freedom. And roughly how much do you each make a year profit?
Yeah,
That's
so,
a hard number to calculate because there's a lot of numbers flying around and there's taxes and stuff. But 100K a year, that's gonna really depend on you as a person, and there's really no answer to that.
Yeah, I mean, and roughly how much do you each make? I mean, we could just say, we'll just say we're making over 7 figures in profit. So just know that
We're making
enough to live good. You know?
Yeah, we're making enough to share the info.
Yeah, we're making enough to give
So
away
you guys-
everything. Yeah. Okay.
How do you guys stay motivated and stay consistent? I think this is actually something I've seen in the industry with the people who are successful and the people who are not successful is you have to like what you do. I think all of us across the board, we enjoy doing e-commerce. We like the ups, we like the downs, we like the rewards. And throughout it all, we just like the daily grind of pursuing e-commerce every day. And that keeps us doing what we're doing.
Yeah, like launching new stores and testing new products, honestly, is
just
so
fun.
exciting.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yep.
All right, Richard. So this guy is asking, can you give us some examples of offers to do with influencers? And you're the expert on this.
Some offers to do. I mean, you can keep it really simple. It really depends on what kind of product that you're running. You'd want to match your niche, the product to the niche that you're trying to do. So if you're running a fitness product, you're going to be working with fitness influencers. It can really be as simple as like, hey, check this offer out. Here's a $5 coupon. These guys are great. Go to their website, and then you'll get traffic from that. You just want to do the math between how much should I pay these guys, how much traffic can I expect from them, how much does my product cost, and how much money I'll make on the back end like that.
Wait, I got a really good question. CBYBR is saying, I am out of Germany. You recommend selling worldwide? I think if you're in a pretty big market and you know the language as well as the culture, then it might be a really good opportunity for you to try drop shipping, like one of the hot products in the English market, to whatever market that you're in. So yeah, like if you're in Germany, you can try selling worldwide, but it actually might be a really good opportunity for you to try making a drop shipping store strictly for German customers.
Yeah. Although Germany might be a little bit tricky specifically because I know they have some very strict return policies, like actual laws.
Like EU regulations. But like we don't know too much about EU regulations.
The thing is, like I've seen some people running stores strictly to Germany. That's been like all translated into German. It's like accepting German currency or whatnot, and they're doing extremely well with products that are super saturated in other markets. Just because it's just untapped in the German markets, and most people don't want to translate their pages into Germany, into German, and run German offers. Plus, it's like most of the dropshippers are like coming from the U.S., like Canada, and there's not many dropshippers over in Germany yet. So it's like that's like an untapped market for you guys if you know how to speak German and you can translate your pages and whatnot.
And that goes the same for any pretty big markets with a lot of money, like France, Italy. Like if you're in one of those markets and you speak the language, then I think it's actually like worthwhile opportunity to try making a store specifically for your market.
How is the jewelry niche? Yeah, I'd say the jewelry niche is extremely hard because people don't just buy any jewelry, right? It's like jewelry is all for the clout, and you need a lot of influence to sell jewelry. Unless you have like real diamonds and you're selling it for like 50% off, it's going to be really hard to just sell some random jewelry that you're just going to say that people would want to buy. Unless you had like a famous person wearing that unique type of jewelry, influencing that product for other people to buy.
Or like, if you get a really specific niche, I've seen some people make it work with like if they're targeting, I don't know, people that like skulls specifically and skull-based jewelry. That can work. Yeah.
And like if you've seen our Popeyes video, like it's like we did a free plus shipping offer, and it's like we barely broke even though the product was literally free and we were only charging shipping. And it's like it's just pretty hard to run jewelry. Sure.
I'm getting the same question a couple of times again from Avanis here. He's asking any niches that beginners should avoid. I think this is a pretty broad spectrum question, but when it depends on the platform that you're running. If you're running primarily on Facebook advertising, you're going to want to avoid niches that are search buyer intent. So you're not going to want to sell products that people are looking for, like on Amazon, like to replenish their stock. Like you don't want to sell like toilet paper, or you don't want to sell something that people will commonly buy. through some sort of search intent rather than something that catches people's attention and then pulls them into your funnel to convert on the offer.
Yeah. So you want to sell a product that that a customer believes is only available at your store. And also for beginners, I think it's really smart to stick with a low ticket item, so that you can test with a low ad budget and learn a lot from your first experience without wasting a ton of money. Because if you start high ticket, you're gonna spend a lot of money on ads and like probably learn the same amount as you would from a low ticket item. So if you're a beginner, then I would definitely start low ticket.
Okay, so how do you test products now? In a general store, I moved the winner to a one product store. Also, how do you settle for a good domain name / logo? Yeah, so the way we're testing products now, we don't even make a general store. We have a really refined method now of finding products that are proven to work, and then we just make a one product store, and we keep running ads, testing different creative, testing different landing page angles until the product actually just starts working. And we always verify that the product's going to sell by looking at the Ali Dropship sensor data in terms of the daily volume trends, and then the total number of orders the product has had over the year, and then the number of people selling the product. And once you know all of these metrics, you can basically verify that the product is a winning product, and then eventually, if you get the right audience and the right creative and the right ad strategies down, the product is going to sell. So we just make one product stores, and we almost always get them to work.
Someone's asking, how do you do custom packaging? And that's all done through a private supplier. You're gonna have to talk to someone in China that sources products for you too.
And it can be as simple as reaching out to your Aliexpress supplier, letting them know your expected order volumes and placing a minimum order quantity of particular custom packaging. Usually you can send them a design file, maybe like a PNG even in some cases, just to get the design printed onto whatever materials that you're looking for to package in. It's a pretty simple process if you have someone you can work with on the ground in China.
How do you deal with negative comments on the ad? Because I heard it affects the performance. You hide them.
Yeah, don't delete them. Definitely hide, but don't delete, because if you delete them, Facebook will.
Yeah. Also, make sure to set filters on your Facebook page for the comment moderation, so Facebook automatically hides negative comments.
They still have that feature?
Yep. So they do. So a lot of people will always leave negative comments, especially when you're selling very popular dropshipping products, because there are some people who are selling very shitty replicas of whatever that product is for very low prices. And because other people have been scammed by other dropshippers who are selling the shittier versions of that product, when you're running the same exact product, you're gonna get a lot of negative feedback for it because people think you're the same person.
Okay, so I've seen this a lot actually. This guy San Gurung is saying Facebook can know how much money you can spend in ads if you are a newbie, bad or good marketer, etc. So do you think that this can maybe affect the type of traffic you can receive, or is it irrelevant? Essentially what he's asking is, if you're a big ad spender or a big media buyer on Facebook, do you get the better quality traffic? Does Facebook prefer you over a smaller advertiser? And I would have to say that that's not true. Facebook doesn't prefer big time advertisers over small time advertisers. A small time advertiser can get just as good of traffic as a big time advertiser.
Definitely.
So from Void Omibeku, who's asked this question a couple of times here, what do you do if you have a winner and your ad account that gets disabled? It really depends on why your ad account got disabled. Depending on whatever policy it might have been, or whatever circumvention of the rules that you might have, or just a false positive flag from the AI. So it really depends. In general, what you want to do is just appeal your ads, go back to your creative and make sure that it's within the guidelines of policy. Usually a few changes to your creative or your copywriting will get you back into the game with that product if it's already seasoned on your ad account.
Okay, so IS Abudi is asking any alternative for Stripe. They shut down my account many times. He's a non-US citizen, and I think we were recommending Payment Cloud,
Pay Certified.
Pay Certified. Do we have anything else? I think it was just Payment Cloud and Pay Certified. Those two. I guess Blue Snap. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those Authorized Net. You can use Braintree.
You could try all of those platforms out if you're getting declined by Stripe. Okay, so how do I find a private supplier? The way I actually found a private supplier was at first I was fulfilling orders from Aliexpress, and I started doing very high volume. Then I contacted this guy on Aliexpress and I messaged him saying hey, could you give me a discount on the product? I'm doing pretty good. I can keep giving you good volumes. And after that, I added him on WeChat and we started talking. And as my store continued to grow, we started to develop this relationship. And eventually he became like my private agent because we started doing so much volume that we even flew down over to his warehouse in China, saw all of his operations, his entire team.
We actually just hung out with him for a while.
Yeah, we actually just hung out with him. We actually hung out with him for a while. We went to like dinner with him. And this all happened because I met him through Aliexpress.
Yeah.
And now he's like manufacturing clothing for us, and he's like sourcing all of our gadgets, and basically he's like doing everything for us.
Yeah, so he's really just like a friend at this point.
Yeah.
But definitely you can meet agents through AliExpress, just talking to them and like being a good customer, I guess. But obviously there's like a lot of bad agents as well, so you want to be pretty selective.
Alternatively, if you are someone who likes to do on the ground, sort of take it into your own hands, there is a convention called the Canton Fair that's held in May and October, where you can go and meet tons and tons of suppliers for all sorts of products and different niches.
Someone's asking, does drop shipping require any kind of legal requirement like an LLC? I would say that you should start as a sole proprietorship. The only downside of that is gonna be taxes, and legally you're gonna be bound to like
You're
whatever you're
liable,
selling.
yeah.
You're liable for everything.
So you don't have corporate bail in that case.
Right. But I wouldn't worry about forming an LLC really until you can actually start being profitable, because otherwise, like, you're gonna make an LLC and just waste your time.
Yeah, and Shopify doesn't require it until I think a certain amount of volume, usually like I think $10,000 in sales.
Yeah, so I would just start as a sole proprietorship, which essentially means like you don't have to do anything. You just use your personal bank account, personal home address, and you should be good to go.
Okay, so I see low budget strategy in Q4 or higher budget. This all depends. It's like any strategy can work technically if you understand how Facebook works. It's not always just low budget or high budget. It all depends on like what kind of niche you're running and what strategy works best for your product. So it's like such a big question. I can't really give you an exact answer for that. But we will be releasing a full Facebook ads course that will cover both ABO and CBO method, as well as scaling. So just wait for that video to come out, and that should probably have your questions answered inside that video.
For Stark One, he's saying that he speaks Chinese. Do you think I can use this skill for dropshipping? It is actually really useful to be able to speak Chinese with your suppliers. You know, you end up with a lot less communication errors that way.
Right. There's still a lot of budget questions coming in, like a ton of budget questions. How much money do I need to run Facebook ads? Your budget depends entirely on the pricing of the product on your store. It's going to be explained in our next video, but if you have a low budget, start with a low ticket item. If you have a high budget, then you can start with a higher ticket item. But if you're an absolute beginner, you might as well start with a low ticket item and a low starting budget, so that you save some money and get a lot of experience at a cheap price.
We'd love to answer like these budget questions inside this Q&A, but it's going to take us like 10 or 15 minutes to explain. So that's why we're just saying, like, go watch the next video when we drop it, because it's going to be explained much more thoroughly in these brief little like 2-sentence explanations we're trying to give you guys.
Yeah.
Have you guys tried TikTok ads? There's also another question about Snapchat ads. I think with Snapchat and TikTok, the audience is really young. And with younger audiences, like, you're going to have to adapt the strategy quite a bit, I'd say.
Yeah, like, we haven't run any TikTok ads yet. I heard like the beta for TikTok just came out, but I was definitely looking into some TikTok influencers, and I'll definitely dive more into it as in 2020. But as of now, I haven't really experimented much with TikTok. I've dabbled a bit with Snapchat, but I didn't really see the results I wanted, so I just went back to Facebook. Google definitely does work extremely well if you know how to run the platform. But yeah, as of right now, I wouldn't say Snapchat or TikTok is probably the best in terms of like selling e-commerce products, unless you're very good at contacting these influencers on TikTok. And
what's it called? I actually have a question for you. With Google ads, do you still think that the scale is limited to the search volume compared to Facebook, where scale is like not limited at all?
Oh shit, I didn't hear that because this dude was laughing.
So with Google ads, like, do you think that scale is limited to search volume because your ad will only show up for certain search terms that get a limited amount of search volume per month? Whereas with Facebook ads, your scale is not capped because Facebook will find an audience for you that is not even really searching for the product.
Yeah, so the difference between Google and Facebook ads is, and the reason why I also like Facebook ads a lot more than Google advertisements, is because on Facebook you can scale infinitely, because the AI and the machine learning will automatically find the people that you need and show the advertisements to the right people without you having to like search for the right keywords and whatnot. But on Google, you're limited to the search traffic. So like, let's say you're trying to sell a stool, for example. there's only like 50,000 searches a month for a stool. So you can technically only get a certain amount of traffic per month. Whereas on Facebook, they have like 1 billion users. They're going to find out of the 1 billion users like as many people that are interested in stools, even if they're not interested, and just still show them the advertisement. So you have a much bigger reach on Facebook for whatever you're trying to sell. So you have infinite possibilities of scaling on Facebook versus a limited scaling on Google.
Dude, Tim Adam, dog. 2 to 3K enough to start with basic knowledge? Dude, come on. It's been covered.
Yeah, 2 to 3K is plenty of money, man.
Yes,
You honestly
enough.
just need about $500, and like $500 should be able to get you going pretty well. If you checked out some of the other full course tutorial videos that we've launched, you can literally copy Mosquito Trap X with like the posture video with your $500, and that should get you going.
Oh, okay. This is a good question to wrap up on. What is your end goal for VerumEcom? Is dropshipping just another stepping stone to private labeling or brand creation? And I think dropshipping gives you the experience that you need to really do a lot of different things online, whether that be like digital marketing or like just marketing for other brands and creating your own agency, or starting your own brand and like private labeling. I think dropshipping is definitely like a stepping stone to creating like longer term, more sustainable businesses online.
That sort of ties in with one last question here from Killer Elms is, what is our guys' outlook on dropshipping for the next 5 to 10 years? E-commerce is definitely a growing industry. If there's any time to get started and see this as a career opportunity, I think now is the time to get started.
Yeah, and just like I don't know, not too many people saw the full Shopify course on our YouTube channel, but in there it says that or we say that dropshipping has actually been around since like the early 2000s. People have been dropshipping on eBay like since it's started, and people have been dropshipping on Amazon since it started. So dropshipping has been around for a really long time, way longer than most people think. It's just that Facebook ads specifically for dropshipping, like that strategy is pretty new and it's like kind of blowing up. But dropshipping as a business model has been around for a really long time. So I don't think that it's just gonna die like anytime soon suddenly.
Yep.
Yeah, not a chance.
All right, boys. So that just about wraps it up. This live stream was 1 hour and 5 minutes long. I'm sorry we can't answer all of your questions. There's been a lot of questions, but we really appreciate all the support and all the people that came onto this live stream. We'll definitely be hosting another live stream soon, probably in the next month or so. So stay tuned for that. And you guys have any final words to say?
I'm going to be doing another 24-hour question and answer via text on Facebook. So I'll be posting that into our Facebook group. If you guys haven't joined the private Facebook group, go ahead and find that in the links. Join it, and you can drop the questions that you haven't been able to get answered here directly from me for the next 24 hours when I put that post up.
I got nothing else to say.
No, that's about it.
All
Thanks
right,
for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, boys.
Yeah.
Thank you
I'll see you guys
guys.
in the next one.
Yeah, peace out.
Peace.
Later.
I think that's it.
Is that
You
close?
gotta click that. You gotta click